Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. If you guys are new, my name's Liz. Today I'm going to walk you through how to assemble my February Craft Club kit. If you didn't know, I have a monthly subscription box where you can get an exclusive wooden craft kit plus a 6x6 16-page paper pack every single month. I'll have that linked in my description box if you're interested in it. But without further ado, let's jump into today's tutorial. So here is the February kit, very springy and farmhouse with the truck and the 16-page paper pack. A lot of fun spring and bright designs, some solid colors for you, and then also some really fun florals that I just thought were super adorable to go with this kit or with any of your other projects maybe that you're working on. So I'm just going to take everything off of the sign and I'm going to start with the backing first. So one tip to keep in mind when you are assembling this kit, there are 3 sizes of letters on here. You got your fresh cut flowers that are all one size, your seeds, stems, blooms that are all one size, and your 1 mile open daily that are all one size. I do package these together for you so that you have 3 separate packages with all the same size letters in each little baggie. So you don't have to worry about trying to figure out which letter goes where. I've already separated them for you. Just make sure you don't mix them up when you're getting them all painted. I mean, they're really easy to tell apart, but just to keep that in mind before you glue anything down, make sure that you have the correct letter on the correct spot. You can also see that we engrave the backing, so it's a lot easier for you to tell what piece goes where. So I'm going to start by painting the back of my sign with my Waverly chalk paint and plaster. I just give it one good coat with the 3 engraved circles. I personally wanted those to stay as the brown engraved color. So I made sure to not paint on the inside, but you can obviously do it however you like. If you want those to be painted, maybe you want to take some different color paint and paint those in there, make them stand out a little bit more, or maybe you just want it all to be the one color. That's perfectly fine. So this is just the way I'm doing it. I'm choosing not to paint those in. I just paint around it. Now for my framing pieces, I'm going to go in with my Waverly Wax and Antique. And to paint those, I just take a brush, paint it all on there, and then to get the excess wax off, I'm just going to take a cloth and rub it off. You could also use a paper towel just to get any of that excess wax off, and I just do that to all 4 of my frame pieces. Now for my truck, I'm going to use my Dixie Belle chalk paint in Vintage Duck Egg. This one is a really pretty color, especially for spring, so that is what I'm going to paint my truck with. I just go over the entire thing except for the wooden bed portion of the truck. And for that, I'm going to use that Waverly Wax and Antique once again. I'm just painting it on there, and then I will use a cloth to wipe off the excess. Now for the flowers, they are all attached to one piece so they can easily be glued behind the truck, and I'm just going to use some Arteza markers for this. I find small little pieces like this with all the little details easier to use a marker or a paint pen. I get a lot of questions on what I use specifically for these, so I'll leave a link to the Arteza markers in the description box below if you're ever interested in them. I personally really like them and they work great for projects like this, but any markers or any paint pens that you already have will probably work just as well as these ones. So just go ahead and paint your flowers, whatever colors that you desire, whatever kind of color scheme that you're going for. I just picked out some kind of bright and fun colors that I thought would look really pretty together paired for spring. And once I am done painting those, I'm going to move on to the other 3 separate flowers that are in the kit. I'm going to color the 2 smaller ones with my Arteza markers. And then for my words, for all the words in this kit, I'm going to use my Waverly Wax and Antique, and I just give those all a coat of that. I rub off any excess wax with a cloth, and I just do that for all the words and the letters in this kit. Now I'm going to go into my scrapbook paper. I'm going to go into this yellow sheet that I just think is really pretty. It has a very faint kind of floral pattern to it. I thought it was really fun, and I'm going to use that for the arrow on this kit. I'm just going to use a glue stick, and then I'm going to use my X-Acto knife to cut all the excess paper around the arrow. And then I'll also use that same scrapbook paper on my larger flower. This one is a little bit more difficult to do just because there are a lot more places that you kind of have to cut around. But if you want to go the extra mile and put some scrapbook paper on there, you definitely can, or you can just paint it. It'll look cute just the same. But I just take my X-Acto knife again and cut around the insides of each little petal. And then I also take some sandpaper at the end just to kind of smooth all the paper around all of the edges. Now to assemble your kit, I like using a combination of E6000 and the Gorilla Gel Super Glue. I find that the Gorilla Gel Super Glue works much better than any other kind of super glue. It just, I don't know what it is. It doesn't seep too much into the wood where other super glue does. So for that instant hold, I use a super glue. For the long-term hold, I use that E6000. You could also just use regular wood glue as well. So I just do that with all of my frame pieces. And then for the back of the truck, you are going to take the extra circle that you have. You'll have 3 circles that are the same size. 2 are wheels. 1 is not a wheel, it's just plain. That's going to be glued onto the back of your truck, kind of where the door is. And then you have 2 smaller circles in your kit. Those are going to be glued onto the back of the wheels. This is going to raise your truck up so that you can fit those flower pieces behind your truck. So I'm going to take my flowers and I'm going to apply my glue to the rectangle at the bottom. And that rectangle at the bottom is going to be glued to the very bottom of your truck bed. Right below where the wooden truck bed starts is where you're going to glue your flowers. And then I'm going to move on to the words. For gluing the words down, I like to put a little dab of the super glue onto the sign itself where the etched letters are, and then I add my letters on top of it. And I do this technique for all the words and all the letters in this kit. I glue my arrow down to the middle between the seeds, stems, blooms, and 1 mile open daily. I'll add my separate 3 flowers to the top middle portion of my sign. For the smaller items, I don't worry about adding the E6000. I just add the super glue so that it's not too gluey, not too messy, and you're not having to clean up a bunch of glue with the really small pieces. Now again, I'm going to take my super glue, add it to the flowers, add it to the circle on the back of the truck, and center my truck as best as I can. And then I will add more glue to the smaller circles on the back of the tires and add that to my sign. And that's all you got to do for this one. So easy, so fun. It really is so much fun seeing all these kits come together. I hope that you guys enjoy it. Let me know if you guys have any questions, any tips or other tricks that I can give you on how to assemble this kit. And of course, with any other questions or details, let me know in the comments below, or you can head to my website, decalanddecor.com. Click on the craft club and there will be a bunch of description information in there as well that you can look at. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Definitely give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!